There's nothing that I hate more than like a quiet album.
Welcome to the Dreams of Consciousness podcast. If you'd be so kind, would you mind introducing yourself?
Hi, I'm Ciarán. I'm the vocalist, guitarist, main songwriter of Coscradh. Yeah, black death metal band from Ireland.
So, would you say that your music is mostly fast? Would you say that you have a lot of influences from classic old school death and thrash metal?
Yeah, I'd say a lot of influence from the likes of Beherit, Blasphemy, Sarcophago, just at the beginning. Slower stuff as well, maybe some doom influences too. We're just trying to create the most nasty stuff possible in the early years. Yeah, as we've gone on like 10 years now, other influences, but mainly kind of just focus on our own music and try to progress it as we're going on. And that seems to be getting faster. We do have slow down sections as well, of course, still. It's definitely faster than it was at the beginning. And even the last album. Yeah. So there's a bit of everything in it. Like Black Death would be the main focus. Although Black Death as a kind of genre, it's split into two here on this album. I'd say it's more separately Black and separately Death in a lot of times in this.
When you say separately black, separately death, do you feel like the atmospheric parts of your music are more of the black metal side, and maybe the more thrashy, fast paced stuff is more of the death metal side?
Yeah, there's some songs draw more influences from death metal, like Aura J. Gok has more kind of a death metal influence, I'd say, whereas Carving the Causeway and maybe Bass Shadows are sort of more black metal influence, but I don't know, it's subjective, I suppose. That's what I would think anyway.
And as far as being Irish, do you feel like that influences maybe some of the themes that you write about?
Yeah, totally. That's all of the themes are Irish mythology, Irish poetry as well. In the past, we've kind of focused on stuff that's actually happened, like pure history. But as you go back further in time, myth is history. So we've added lots of mythology in the latest one. Yeah, it's the entirety of the theme, and we don't think we'll deviate from that either for the lifetime of the band.
All right. Can you tell me a little bit about the goals that you had when you first put this project together?
At the beginning, there was a kind of an upsurge of really cool black and death metal around Dublin, around the start of the 2010s. There was Scythe, Zom, Malthusian, Slither, and a few others that upsurged. It was a mixture between punks and metalheads because we never had a huge scene here, especially interested in proper underground stuff. So there was kind of a crossover there in the early 2010s, which dissipated by around 2016, and that's when we came along. So we almost just about missed that. Yeah, but our goal was to just create a demo, just get out there and play some gigs because we were interested in it, and it seemed like before then it was really hard to start a band. So there was me and my friend John. We were based in Belfast at the time. We tried to get a project together, and that was a good time to do it because there was a lot of interest in the scene around that time. The original goal was to create just one demo, really. It wasn't really to create a long-term project like it is now.
Why do you, as an aside, why do you think the scene dissipated in the middle of the 2010s?
The just interest sort of faded. The punks went back to playing punk, and mm, I'm not sure why. It seemed to be a point in time. There was a lot of buzz and a lot of energy around the scene at the time. I wouldn't say it's gotten less. I'd say it's right now. It's probably really good. Probably just as good as it was back then. But it's when you look back, it's kind of like, oh yeah, that was a good moment. Maybe this is one of those moments in Dublin again now. Seems to be a lot of action. Yeah, I couldn't tell you why exactly.
I mean, I'm almost 50, and I feel like people have a lot of enthusiasm for metal when they're in their late teens and early 20s, and then as they get older and they have families and jobs turn to careers, they kind of.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's true for sure. These guys are all kind of a bit older. Like I'm not a spring chicken either. I just kept at it.
Yeah, it does feel like metal kind of goes through these like you know, 8 to 10 year cycles where it'll boom for a bit and then it'll get quiet and then it'll boom again.
Yeah,
Did you always have in mind that you wanted to sing about these Irish themes?
yeah. I grew up in Connemara in the west of Ireland. Uh, just growing up in school locally, you'd hear lots of like Shanskata, old stories, old poetry, mythology around different areas. It was sort of haunting and kind of exciting when you were younger. And then very interesting as you got older and you dig more into these things. I've always been very interested in this stuff. I speak the language as well. So yeah, it's natural for me to write about these things. It would be strange for me to write around common metal themes really.
Yeah.
It's yeah, it's kind of inbuilt.
And some of your lyrics are in Gaelic, right?
Yeah. We don't do it all in Irish, but maybe we will someday. But it is still a metal band. It's not Irish music, so kind of has to be open to the genre around the world, I suppose. Plus, not everybody in the band speaks Irish. It's just me, really. So it'd be unfair to put the whole thing in Irish, but I might do it someday.
Yeah. I mean, kind of, from listening to a lot of that second wave stuff, I picked up a few Norwegian and Swedish words here and there. So maybe maybe this is a good way to get people to learn Gaelic.
Well, there's a bit of a revival going on at the moment. I don't know if you've heard of the band Kneecap, but they're a product of the current revival of the language in Ireland. Like they're not exactly spearheading it, but they're from Belfast, and this is where the revival sort of started about maybe 10 years ago, and they're definitely part of the that too. So yeah, it's good to see in Ireland there's been a bit of a revival when we thought that it was in complete decline.
I apologize if this is an ignorant question, but how bilingual are people in Ireland? How many people actually speak Gaelic?
If you take the surveys, like it doesn't look good, but everyone has to do it in school. So like every 18-year-old will have pretty decent Irish if they want to pass their exams, if they want to go to college. So yeah, everyone does have it. Just needs a bit of encouragement, a few beers. But how bilingual? I would say about 30% know the language and could be coaxed out of them. But like if you look at the actual numbers, it's a lot lower than that, I think.
Okay, interesting. Can you tell me a little bit about your songwriting process? How do songs usually start for you? Do you start everything on the guitar?
For the last album, definitely did that in COVID, like just writing the riffs at home. But this album, we have a new drummer, Boban. He's Croatian, excellent drummer. But he joined the band immediately after the last album was put out, and myself and him have been writing a lot together, like bringing riffs, working out the drums, and then like repeatedly going back and making sure the song is 100%. But we didn't just do it that way either. I wrote one song completely at home, and then another one myself and Jason wrote together on the guitars, and then another one we just wrote all together. So there was no real there's no real process for the whole album really. We did I did know that it was like we needed a conclusion and ending, sort of break in the middle for the vinyl. Of course, we're thinking about LP when we're writing an album. So there was a template in mind for it, and the subject of like druidic ritual and the cosmos kind of played into that, like us slowing down a lot during nearly every song at some point. Even though it is fast music, we do slow down and have breaks for those kind of atmospheric sort of sections, for want of a better word. Yeah, so that would be the process in general. No real like total architecture from the beginning. Just and say we make it up as we go along, but we do a lot of improvisation.
Okay. In general, is it you and Jason bringing in riffs, and then you guys with Bobin arranging songs?
It'd be mostly myself. Jason is like more focused on the lead guitar and the crazy solos and all that. Although he did write a lot of one of the songs there as well. Usually starts with me with riffs, go in, and then bounce ideas off Bowman, and then the others come in after that as well.
And you have themes in mind as you're coming up with riffs, and you and Bobin are working on the arrangements?
Yeah, for sure. Like especially with the first song, which is actually split in half. It was Dave's idea to make kind of an intro track. It makes total sense actually. The first track, Carving the Causeway, like was originally around 10 minutes or so. We tend to make really long songs, but we split it there at that point where it sounds like there's an intro and a more heavier song after.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
You'll notice that in the lyrics too.
second Coscradh album is called Carving the Causeway to the Otherworld, and it was released in February by 20 Book Spin. You mentioned that Boban came on after the first album and was part of the writing for this album.
Yeah,
Would you say that with the addition of Boban, it affected the style or maybe some of the feeling of the songs?
definitely. Kind of took a good while for us to settle in together for writing. We actually tried writing before even playing gigs. He joined and we were playing with Maguire a month later. So we went in and tried to write a few riffs together. It was kind of difficult when you don't know somebody or their style or anything. But I think we actually have some riffs from back then on this album. I couldn't tell you which ones. They're definitely in or the Gook. But yeah, once we played a lot of gigs together, I think it totally changed the way Bobo played. We call him Bobo. we It totally changed the way he played, and he was more of a good fit for the band, really. So a lot of the writing was in between gigs, and yeah, we did play a lot of gigs for because we have to fly out for every single gig. It's a big effort, so uh, it's hard to write between those. But that's how we wrote this. Maybe the energy of all those gigs fed into it. But like I said, that kind of changed the way he played and just became being able to contribute better more after that.
I'm curious, what was Bobo's background? Was he part of that wave of bands that you mentioned?
No, not at all. He moved from Croatia to work here,
Okay.
and he he was always attending gigs. I never met the guy, so until he joined the band, so I'm not sure how true that is. Apparently, he saw one of our first few gigs, or so he claimed. Yeah, so he was aware of the band. So when I asked him, he was ready to go. He had learned the entire album, Nahanagan Stadial, and by the time that he joined, I hadn't practiced that in about 6 months, so he was more practiced than I was.
That's awesome. This is an aside, but I recently spoke to a band who their new guitarist joined basically by always being at gigs and saying one day, "Hey, you guys should really consider getting a second guitarist. By the way, I play guitar." Sometimes it works, right?
Yeah,
You mentioned some of the themes that you have on this album. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
yeah. So the main theme for this album is Druidic astronomy. It's a huge subject in Irish history, really, or ancient history, as you'd say. Like this, Irish history is long, but as you go further back in time, like there's obviously less information. But we do have Newgrange, Knowth, Four Knocks, and a lot of rock carvings all around the country that indicate that there's deep, deep knowledge about the cosmos that the Druids studied for decades of their lives. And a lot of the sites were constructed for these ritual purposes. I wanted to tie that into the main theme of this album. So each of the songs are about this deep knowledge, and the final song is a notion that these druids could see far far beyond anything we could imagine. So each song is about different mythological Gaelic gods of each planet. I know I use the word Saturn, which is kind of a Roman word, but it's more like I was translating the song into English. So we have gods of each planet, and Goak is the Irish god of Mars. And this was actually recently enough discovered in the Book of Ballymote, where they found all of the ancient Irish names for each of the planets, and they were able to map those to the different gods. So The album is in general about Druid astronomy and ritual.
Is the ancient mythology similar to that in France, where you had like Bellenos and Mood and those kind of gods?
Yeah, they're very similar.
Okay.
Um, they would have been like translated to Gaelic, but they're almost identical to the ones that would have been in Gaelic France and Celtic Europe. It just
Right.
survived for longer out in Ireland.
Okay.
Yeah, and we had our own translations into Gaelic then, probably following that.
Yeah, the only thing I know about Druids and Celtic mythology comes from Asterix, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Where did you guys end up recording this album?
We've always recorded in Temple Bar in Dublin. We know the sound engineer there, Shawnee Keds. He's recorded everything we've ever done. So he's kind of like, he's developed his own sound in all that time too. So he had a lot of experience going into this. And then we had a lot more playing ability too. So it was a lot different going into record with him on, say, the second demo or the first EP, as we got it, like in 2017, say, than we did now. We know what we're doing now. So yeah, Temple Bar is where we record pretty much everything. Sun Studio and Studio One.
And you're in a band with Shawnee as well, right?
Yeah, I'm in another band with Tony Callis Master. He's the bassist. I do vocals. And the main writer of that band is John, who I started Coscradh with. He's on the demo and the Delirium EP.
Okay. I mean, other than your friendship and the fact that you guys have been working together for a long time, what do you like about working with Shawnee? How would you describe him as an engineer?
He's extremely calm. He has a lot of patience, especially for inexperienced musicians and people who aren't used to recording. Like he'll give suggestions of, he won't judge your songs or anything like that, but if he wants you to record again, like you'll know it. He really knows how to get the best sound out of every amp, every guitar. Like I think he had about over 20 mics on the drum kit. It was a bit crazy, but he was able to orchestrate all that together, which is insane.
Did you say 20 mics on the drum kit?
Yeah, he must have had about that many. It was crazy.
So individual pieces mic'd and then like a room or atmosphere mic.
Yeah, there would be multiple mics on each drum, room mics.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, he got the absolute most out of it for this album because Boban is such a good drummer.
Yeah.
It really kind of elevated everything in the recording. So I guess that's why he gets paid special attention to the drums. So we build everything around it and make the best possible album we could this time. He got the demos and he kind of knew there was a big step up on this one. So he made a big effort too. And yeah, it worked out well.
In terms of the finished production, what did you want Shawnee and Dan Lowndes, who mastered it, to bring to the album? What kind of sound were you looking for this band?
We kind of wanted for like, for one, we wanted it to be loud. There's nothing that I hate more than like a quiet album. Like our second EP, Delirium, it ended up really quiet, and I didn't have a clue why that happened. It's just because of the worse quality the music that's recorded is, like the quieter the mix is going to be in the end. So we made a big effort to make our playing ability a lot better, just make everything a lot better, so that we could maximize that explosive sound that you hear on the album. I think we had like references of like Catharsis, Conquer Winds, Angel Corpse, for that really loud sound.
Yeah.
And then Dan Lowndes sort of pushed it over the top. And he was going back and forth with Shawnee after everything was done. And he gave it this extra boost that's kind of bit more magic to it.
Were you looking for some of that chaos of that late '80s, early '90s sound?
Yeah, I suppose you could say that as well, yeah. Because that is where that sound comes from.
Yeah.
He boosted the bass, is what we would never really think about doing that. So the second last mix and the second last master and the final master, the bass is boosted quite a bit, but it really gave it an extra kick.
I'm curious. Do you double track your vocals?
No,
Okay.
I use pedals on my vocals for everything we previously recorded, but not for this one. These were recorded clean, and we used digital vocals so that we could control it a bit more. Because we did try with my regular setup, but it was clouding up the mix a lot. Like we were losing riffs. we were losing some cool stuff in there. So it was a bit of a risk, totally changing the way we recorded vocals, but because I thought that was one thing that might have been like totally fine going into this record, but we changed that as well. And we did it for the backing vocals too. So Hick does a lot of vocals in this one. He's the bassist and vocalist. I'd say he's about 60-40 or close to 50-50 of all the vocals.
Okay.
So maybe that's why you think it's double tracked.
I see. Okay, maybe. When you guys play live, do you like trade off?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's dual vocals. We did actually three vocals for the previous album, but it was a bit too messy, a bit too much going on.
Right, yeah.
Really hard to set up, especially in the kind of festival slots that we were getting. So not enough time to set that up. So it's myself and Hick doing almost main vocals together.
Okay. Do you guys have any plans to play some festivals or to do any tours, either in the UK or in Europe?
We're planning at least one European tour this year, towards the end of the year. There might be a second one, depending on how it goes. It's kind of late to be organising it, but it might happen. We're planning a US tour then next year, around the summer.
Do you want to say with who?
It might be with Críodáin, but I'm not sure yet.
Oh, okay.
Dan Lowens, of course,
Yeah.
but it'll be announced in due course, I suppose. We're doing a few festivals then, smaller underground festivals. Actually, Fortress Festival, that's a big one in the UK, but they're doing a spin-off in Newcastle. We're playing that one. Winds of Agony, of course, which is going to be great in Spain. And Death is Not the End in Poland. That's what we currently have at the moment, but yeah, like we said, we're planning a couple of tours.
Very cool. So, Carving the Causeway to the Otherworld is out now through 20 Buck Spin. Ciarán, please tell everyone how they can order the album. What's the best way to get it?
You can go on Coscradh.com. We ship anywhere, but you can get everything else. We only sell our own shirts and the LPs. You can get tickets for our launch gig here in Dublin as well. And links to all the other stuff is on our website too. But if you're anywhere else in the world, especially the US, then 20buckspin.com as well.
So I know 20 Buck Spin put out, I think, 3 vinyl variants. I don't know what the status is of those, if they're sold out or close to sold out. But do you want to say anything about the vinyl?
Yeah, our vinyl is exclusive Ireland only. It's like swamp green and red. Pretty cool. 20 Buck Spin have a very cool variant called Druid's Elixir. It's kind of goldish brown. There's a couple of other colors too, and they have exclusively have the black vinyl over there too.
You mentioned your website. Is that the best place to go to get updates on tours and festival appearances and stuff like that? And possibly the tours that...
Yeah, we got all our gigs up there.
Okay. Ciarán, it was very nice talking to you. Is there anything else you want to say? Anything else you want the listeners to know?
Yeah, hopefully we'll see you soon in your country.
In Malaysia? Yeah, let's hope. Thank you, Ciarán.
Right. Thank you.